Hello, can you hear me well? Let's check the sound first. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Catherine. Hello, Setayam. Oh, that's very good news. So, welcome guys to Sofia, to Bulgaria. My name is Lubo, and I'm very excited today because this is my very first tour on Heygo. So I'm also a little nervous, but I think this is normal. And we still have about 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes until we start the tour. So I will tell you a few words about me. And then, as I promised, we will study some Bulgarian because maybe you have read in the description that I will give you free Bulgarian lessons. Oh, thank you for the support, Alan. Hello, Queen. Hello, Vera. So, yeah, this is, by the way, my backyard. Let's show you. I decided to start the tour from here because I am a tour guide. I don't guide very often in Sofia, by the way, only maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And I miss this, so this is one of the reasons I joined Heygo. Another reason is that I'm interested in virtual tourism, and I'm doing my PhD students in the Sofia University in virtual tourism. So this is also something like my hobby. And the third reason is that when you do regular classic guiding tours, it's not well accepted to share personal stories or stories which are not. Yeah, thank you, Seitam. It's an emerging thing, virtual tourism, and I hope that it will never replace real tourism. By the way, so you are also very welcome to Bulgaria here in person. So, oops, sorry, my bad. I pulled the, yeah. So, why from my backyard? Because my backyard, of course, is something personal, but also the building behind me has an interesting story. A story which I know from my grandfather, who was also born in Sofia, like my parents. And a story which is not confirmed. I cannot find any information on the internet about this. Yeah, gimbal issues because of my headphones, which I decided to use. So this building, according to my grandfather, sorry, wrong button. This building in the past served for a very short time as a headquarter of our moral police in Bulgaria. We had such an institution during the monarchy. So, hello Tarik and Oli, the bear. Hello Jan. Hello Yoko. Happy to see you in Sofia. So, in the last years of the monarchy, we had this institution still, and according to my grandfather, bad people were brought here. For example, prostitutes, because this was still something illegal in these times, like nowadays in Bulgaria. Homosexuals, because homosexuality also was not tolerated in these years of the monarchy, and also men who cheated on their wives, and of course, vice versa. So now the building is in really poor condition because the owner obviously doesn't take the necessary care of it. And also it is locked in my backyard. So you can only see this building if you live where I live. You cannot see it from the street. It's hidden. Hello, Carla, and hello, Claudia. We have about 1 minute until the start of the tour. So let's study some Bulgarian. And today we will study how to greet in Bulgarian. So depending on where you are, depending on whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening, You can greet me with dobro utro if it's morning. Utro means morning, dobro means good. So you can try to type it, dobro utro. If you are located, it's 4 o'clock here. For example, in the Americas, it should be a morning now. Hello, Liz. Hello, Cheryl. If it's during the day, like in Bulgaria, it's 4:15, you should say dobar den, which means good day. And if it's already evening, I guess in Eastern Asia, it's evening, it is dobar večer. And if you go to sleep, it's already leka noć. Leka noć means good night. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you very much. Are you ready to go, by the way? Because my backyard can be only seen from here, but it's not something spectacular, I guess. Sofia has a lot to offer. I think that some of you have joined Simana's tours. Simana is the first Bulgarian guide on Heygo, and I'm very happy because you have them all the time. Hello, darling. Hello, Laura. So I'm very happy because Simana gave me some very useful tips and also supported me to join Heygo because I've been watching the tours for a while, but I was a bit shy to apply for a guide. So this won't be very interesting, but this is where my neighbors live. And we are about to exit my flat. So very soon we will be in the street. Hello, Anna and Cheryl from Preston. I hope that this will be the end with the gimbal issues because the gimbal is very difficult to control when you go downstairs. This is something which I noticed on the very first day. So this is my street, this is where I live, and I will show you an old picture which I found literally yesterday, and I will show you how this place looked, I think in the late 60s or in the early 70s. Take a look. It's the same place, right? Just the people are different. And the cars, of course. The biggest difference is in the cars. So look, now we have so many cars in Sofia, thousands of cars. Yes, my grandparents, they are on the right side. My grandma is with a very fashionable bag, and my grandfather is with the white shirt. So they lived here. I will show you right there. This is where I live. My girlfriend is there right now, but I think she is very shy to say hello from the window. Maybe another time. I will try to bring her to some of the next tours. Hello, Karen. So the main difference, yeah, it's a nice car. This is a Volga. Volga was something like one of the most expensive cars during communism because maybe you know Bulgaria was a communist country for almost 50 years. Another difference, we don't have these scratches or graffiti on the walls. Nowadays, we have them all around the city, almost everywhere. Yeah, in Bulgaria, it's full of graffiti. This is not something very good, what is written here, but let's say that we have some very beautiful graffiti, not here in this building, in other places around town. And personally, I'm tolerant to the graffiti painters because they have to learn how to paint, and this is the only chance. Of course, we have many cars nowadays. It's very difficult to park. And on the picture, maybe you noticed there were only two cars. So the street where I live, hello Maggie, Lynn, hello Erin and Karen. It's in the top center of Sofia. So very soon we will see some of the landmarks. It is also an area with a lot of embassies. For example, Maybe you can recognize this flag. It's not Bulgaria's flag. A red flag with an eagle with two heads. This is Albania. Yeah, Albania. You're right, Liz. And this is a very small country on the Mediterranean. This is Monaco. Yeah, Cheryl, the Volga cars. Whoa, I bet that they are antiques in England. Here in Bulgaria, we don't have so many Volga cars left. But if you are interested in old cars, I'm pretty sure that we will see some, at least some, in the streets. There is a Lada which usually parks behind the corner. What I'm sorry is that I couldn't introduce you to my friends, my cat friends. Sofia is a city of cats, so cats are everywhere, including in my street, but not today, because today it's a bit cold, it's a bit windy. This is another flag, the flag of Hungary, and this is the Hungarian Cultural Institute in Sofia. One of the famous bars here. By the way, this garden, yeah, I like cats very much. I had a Siamese cat for a very long time, for 21 years. Here is the Embassy of Egypt in this beautiful building. So this bar here, now there is nobody because it's Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all of you. And because it's still early. If you come here in the evening, maybe not today, but any other day of the year, it will be full of people. And not only in the bar, like almost everywhere. Hello, Axel. So this is one of the liveliest places in town during the night. It is called Crystal Garden. And why Crystal? Because in the past, this building here, it was a restaurant, and the restaurant's name was Crystal. So this is how people started calling this garden. In 2016, thank you, Luis. You are welcome in 2022 again for a second visit. So here we have different exhibitions, usually photos, all the time. It's permanent, and the current exhibitions, it's dedicated. Hello, Camilo. Is dedicated to Buyan Petrov. This is Buyan Petrov. He was a very, very famous scientist. He was very into bats. He specialized in bats, and he also became very famous with his hobby. What was his hobby? Here, this is his schedule for preparing a hike to Mount Everest in 2004. It is written in Cyrillic. This is how we write with a pen. Does anyone understand Cyrillic? Oh, thank you, Liz. Okay, next time. Oh, you understand Cyrillic. So, no, next time I will teach you all how to write. Unfortunately, what happened with Buyan is not sure, but he was climbing a very high mountain in the Himalayas like 2 years ago, and he disappeared. So probably something bad happened, and we really miss him. But this happens sometimes with alpine hikers. This is an old photo, and this car is a Moskvich because some of you mentioned the Volga. Moskvich was a more ordinary car, like it was more affordable to buy a Moskvich in the past. What else do we have in Crystal Garden? One of my favorite things is this fountain. Maybe from here it's more beautiful. I will also turn the camera so you can take a postcard. Let's check, like this. So this is the boy with the gourd. And what's the story behind the fountain? It was built a long time ago. I always forgot the year, the exact year, but you can check it right here. It's written 1934, and this is the name of the person who funded the construction. Yeah. So this boy, now there is no water in the fountain. It's a bit dirty, but the reason is that we are in the winter, and in the winter the water is frozen. This is not the typical time for Christmas. Usually we have snow, but not this year. We had snow like a week ago. So this boy here, the boy with the gourd, I remember him since I was a very, very small child. But what happened one day was that we, the locals, woke up and the boy was not here. It, it just disappeared. Some people say that it was stolen by someone because this is bronze and that it was given for recycling. Maybe this is the true story, but I would tell you another story. When I was born, it was in 1990. We were almost 9 million people in Bulgaria. And now we are about 7 million, which means that 2 million people less. And since 1990, more than 2 million people have left Bulgaria. And I think that this boy went to live somewhere else for a while, like many of my fellow citizens did. And now he is back. This is a copy of the original statue. Uh, Hello, Beth. Lynn, why they left? Because in the last years of communism, economically, Bulgaria was not very well, and especially in the first years after 1990. But what was the main difference? In the first years after 1990, the borders were open. So people, it was not impossible to leave the country and to go and live abroad. So now the biggest Bulgarian community out of Bulgaria is in the USA. There are about 3,100 Bulgarians who live there. And also in the UK, in Germany, in Spain, wherever I go as a tourist in those countries, I can hear Bulgarian speech. Here, another thing which was made, by the way, by the same sculptor. And another favorite place of the local children. I believe that almost every local has at least one photo on these deers from his or her childhood. I tried to find mine at home, but to be honest, I couldn't. So those deers, they're not afraid of people, obviously. People would sit on top of them and take a picture. They did not disappear, by the way, during the 1990s. Only the horns, they disappear almost every year. They have new horns. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you for the tip. By the way, this is my first tip on Heygo. I will remember it and I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Pauline. Greetings to Ontario. So yeah, we are today. It's Christmas. We don't have enough snow, but to show you one of our Christmas trees, maybe it will be more attractive in 1 or 2 hours. It's already starting to get dark. I guess around 7 o'clock, it will be completely dark in Sofia. And here we have the Russian church, but we will go there in only a few minutes. What else do we have in Crystal Garden? I can see that the locals are starting to gather, by the way. Maybe they will enjoy the Christmas night together. So this is a very long bench. In fact, this is not one bench. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe like 10 benches next to each other. I've seen a longer bench only in Geneva in Switzerland. And this reminds me about something typically Bulgarian. In Bulgaria, we call it pejka party. Party, of course, it's a party. And pejka, this is the Bulgarian word for bench. So it's bench party. And what is a pejka party? We gather with friends, we buy beers, we drink the beers on the bench, we listen to music. Some people, very often, if they can play the guitar or any musical instrument, they play it and we have fun. This here, you can see this is a pejka party in its very beginning. I'm not a very big fan of pejka parties. Thank you, Luis. But I was when I was a teenager. By the way, this bench here, it's considered as one of the most romantic places in town. We call it the bench under the crooked tree. Maybe this is, I'm not sure if this is the right expression in English, but you can see that the tree is obviously like on one side. And also this meadow, it has a very strange shape. You can see that it's also difficult to like, sorry, but I've studied English actually only for 3 years at school. So I know that you understand me, but my English is not perfect for sure. So obviously this meadow has a very strange shape. Not, yeah, the deep meadow. Not like a mountain, but the opposite thing. And why it has such a strange shape? A long, long time ago, thank you, Luis. It's good, but I want to improve it. This is another reason why I joined Heygo. Thank you, Luis, for the support. So, why is this strange shape? Because my accent. I can speak if you want with a Slavic accent. But to be honest, in Bulgaria, when we speak English, we don't have this typical accent which most in Eastern Europeans do. I don't know why. I, I don't know what's the reason. So I will show you now a picture from the past. At this place, they wanted to build something, a building, and this building was supposed to be our national library and also a museum. But what happened? It turned out that the underground waters here are very high. Also, the war started, so they couldn't build anything. And you can see on this picture, it's the same place, almost almost from the same angle. Just we don't have the bench with the crook tree. We have those maybe buffaloes which are enjoying a bath, and the excavation is full of water. So in the end, they realized that it won't be possible to build anything here, and they just left it like it is today. Here we have a very beautiful building. This is the military club of Sofia. It was built, it was finished actually in the early 20th century. They started the construction earlier in the late 19th century. And nowadays it serves as a place for different cultural events. For example, my girlfriend and I, we visited it maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. And there was a classic music concert. So a famous, it was not the Sofia Philharmonics, but another band. Um, we listened Mozart, we listened Tchaikovsky and Dvorak, and it was very nice. Also, a big event which happened here about maybe 15 years ago. If you like playing chess, we had a final for the world chess title here, and it was a Bulgarian chess player, Veselin Tupalov, against Vishwanathan Anand from India. And our boy, he lost this time. I think he got the title 1 or 2 years before that, but this time he lost. So if you decide to sit here and enjoy your day, like the locals, you will notice that you will be constantly observed by this monument, by this guy. And who is this with this scary scar? Why is his head hurt? So this is Stefan Stambulov, and he was Bulgaria's prime minister long time ago. Again, there is no need to remember the years because they are written here. This is his signature. So Stefan Stambulov is known as one of the most successful Bulgarian prime ministers, but he was murdered nearby, and it was a very infamous murder. This scar is a scar from an axe because he was hit in the head with an axe by by the people who murdered him. Yeah, ouch! It was very painful, but for a very short time. Actually, not for a very short time, but let's say that it was a short time. So Stefan, his regime was a bit dictatorship, but economically the country was very successful. So for those 7 years in charge, he made maybe at least 7,000 enemies. And that's why in the end he was murdered. There were many attempts, many times people tried to eliminate him. And the last time it was successful. And because he brought us economic prosperity, if you want to see him without this scar, you only need to change some money. That's him. This is 20 Bulgarian lev. Okay, now the focus is better. 20 Bulgarian lev with Stefan Stambulov printed on them. So let's continue our walk. We will pass very close to the military club. It will be a bit noisy for a while because of the cars, but very soon we will be at a quiet place once again. So, hello, Helen. Hi, all. Another giant hat, not only Stefan's, and one very big Christmas bow. Oh, there is something inside. Thank you, Carla. Ouch. I think I made something bad. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, let's put it like here because I didn't meant to do it, but this is kind of maybe vandalism. So now I'm going to show you the Russian church. I thought that there were presents inside because it was making a strange sound, but it was a different case. Here you can see the military club, but from a closer distance. It's a very beautiful building, by the way. And from the inside, I was really surprised how beautiful it is because even though I live nearby, the first time I went to a concert here was 2 weeks ago. Hello, Elisa. Welcome to Sofia. Okay, let's enjoy some silence and listen to the engines of the cars. I think that, yeah, you probably will not hear me well if I continue speaking here. Thank you, Luis, for enjoying Sofia. Oh, now it's silent. So this is the Russian church in Sofia. In the past, this was the land of the Russian embassy. In fact, this was the embassy over there. This was the park of the embassy, and here we have the Russian church. And one personal story about this church. I'm, by the way, quarter Soviet. One of my grandmothers was from the USSR. And shortly after I was born, her sister visited Sofia, and she became my godmother, not godfather, godmother. I think it's correct, right? And I was baptized in 1990, in late 1990. No, in probably in late 1991 because I was born in late 1990 here in this church. I think it's a good spot for a postcard. Let's try. Yeah, from here. The church, the patron saint of the church, this is Saint Nicholas or Sveti Nikolai in Bulgarian. Yeah, it's a very beautiful church. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Carla. But I'm not sure if it will be okay to go there and film. Maybe another time I can ask them. It's not very well appreciated in general to film into a church. Can you hear me well, by the way? Because it's very noisy. Oh, so technology is really good today. Okay, one more nice view. And here another building. When I was a small child, this very same Soviet grandmother who lived here used to bring me at least once a month to the National Museum of Natural History, this small building here. I was really obsessed of this museum because there was an exhibition of living animals like snakes, giant cockroaches, etc. inside. Even nowadays, I like insects very much. I don't know why. In fact, I love them. We have issues with mosquitoes in our street because of the high underground waters. Thank you, Lynn. And I don't like killing the mosquitoes. Actually, I feel sorry about them. Hello, Jean or Jean. Now, this is a very quiet street. In general, Sofia is a place of contrasts. Some places are very, very crowded and full of people, but right in the very heart of the city, you can find places like this street where there is literally nobody. And I like this. I like the contrast. Another contrast which you probably notice is that there is no predominant architectural style, at least in the center. I would say around the center, all the buildings are from the communism, but not in the center. So this is one of the reasons why many Hollywood productions are shot here in Sofia, because they don't need to go from one place to another. If they need Stalin Baroque architecture, they have it everywhere. If they need old Baroque, they also have it. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. So what else do we have here? I forgot to show you something, but I will leave it for next time. The place where the Bulgarian boogeyman lives. You know, today it's Christmas, and we have Santa Claus, who has a bag full of presents. Maybe it's not a good idea to speak about boogeyman who has a bag full of nasty children. Hello, Axel, hello. Here we have a small building. This is part of the Ministry of Finance of Bulgaria. A very nice small building. They have whoa, this is a tree which started growing from the balcony. Really interesting. So our Ministry of Finance, at least it has a beautiful building. I'm joking, of course, but Bulgaria is still the poorest country in the European Union, and we the locals are very self-ironic. We often talk about this. So in my tours, I don't want to only say positive things. I will sometimes show something negative. Like, what negative can I see around? Maybe this. This is a typical street ashtray for Bulgaria. Not something good, but it's interesting, I think. I don't like when the locals do it, but they do it like almost everywhere. You can find cigarettes in those protective things. Yeah, at least not on the floor. This is the better option. And the good thing, if you like classical music, this building looks very modest from the outside, very small. But if you enter, there is a hall with more than 1,000 seats, and there are classical music concerts almost every day. So I'm checking the program for the next month today. Again, there are scratches all around, graffiti. I promise that someday I will make a graffiti tour of Sofia and show you the nice graffiti, not only the graffiti which were like for just practicing. Here, by the way, I read in the on the internet a few days ago that here they are planning to construct a building. So this place, oh, I didn't press any button, but the gimbal just turned around. Very strange. Sorry about that. So this building here, it was damaged during the Second World War. This small house, for example, it had 2 floors. Now there is only 1 floor rest, and it was one of the popular cafeterias in Sofia. So I hope that they will reopen it like many, many years after it was closed. Hello, Svetla. By the way, Svetla is also a very common name in Bulgaria, in our country. Or maybe you are Bulgarian. Here, this is for the electricity, and this is the Bulgarian flag. BG, it's written, do not touch, danger for your life. Again in Cyrillic. We will talk about Cyrillic another time because maybe some of you have heard this, but the Cyrillic script was developed in the Bulgarian kingdom a long, long time ago, in the 7th century. And now it's used in many, many countries around the world. Something which I just saw. I told you about the cafeteria which was destroyed during the Second World War. This is how it looked like in the past. You can see it has 2 floors. And now it has only 1 floor right here. Oh, we have like 10 minutes left. Time is running very fast. Like on a Heygo tour. When I watch a tour on Heygo, it always ends very, very fast. So, welcome to one of the central squares of Sofia. And this beautiful building was once upon a time, as we say in the fairy tales about kings and queens, was a place where our kings lived. This is the former royal palace of Sofia. And nowadays it's a exhibition hall. There is an ethnographic museum and part of the National Art Gallery. So there is a lot I can say about this place, but let's share today one story which I know from my grandfather, from the same guy which you saw on the photo. So he was 8 years old, second grade in school, when the descendant of the throne was born. So it was during the last years of the monarchy. It was, I think, 1937. Yeah. So for a very long time, Bulgaria had only a princess. First, we waited for a very long time so our king Boris could find his perfect match because he wanted to marry a woman he loved, not only to marry like many kings married because of diplomatic marriages. So they had a girl first, and like almost 10 years after having the girl, Prince Simeon was born, and Prince Simeon was the inheritor of the Bulgarian throne. In fact, he is still the inheritor of the throne, but he never became a king because shortly after that, the communist regime was established in Bulgaria, and Simeon, he had to spend most of his life in exile. He lived in Spain, in Portugal for a long time. But don't get me wrong, the fact that he didn't become a king doesn't mean that he never ruled Bulgaria. Because, guys, when I was a child in 2001, he came back to Bulgaria and he established a political party. And from the first time, he became prime minister. He won the elections. So for 4 years, he was in charge of Bulgaria, and we referred to him as the king. He was a prime minister, but for all of us, he was the king. This was his nickname, at least. About this king, actually, our last kings, they were not ethnic Bulgarians, because for 5 centuries, our country was ruled by the Ottoman Empire. So nobody knew who was the descendant of the throne. It was very complicated. And our last kings, they were from the Saxo-Burgota dynasty. The Saxo-Burgotas, they still rule in Belgium, I guess, and the Windsors in the UK, for example. I will show you after that a picture of this king, and maybe another time I will tell you more about him. And now about his father, our last king, Boris, how he looked like. He had a very big nose. This is the most typical about him. I will show you if I found it. So this is a very old coin which I have from my grandfather. Thank you, Karen, for the tip. Oops. My microphone just fell on the ground. So this is a silver coin with King Boris, King of Bulgaria, of the Bulgarians. And this is the back of the coin. You can see obviously the nose is very big. So this king, he is famous with good in Bulgaria and in general around the world, even though he was allied to the Axis during the Second World War. So he was probably the worst ally possible during this war. First, yeah, it's a big nose. First, he refused to send an army against the USSR, and we only fought on the Balkan Peninsula with our neighbors. It's very typical for the Balkan countries. That's a big nose, and this is a beautiful, beautiful sunset. And here it's written Merry Christmas. I will leave the camera here because it's really beautiful. So you can take some pictures and enjoy the last sunny minutes in Sofia today. By the way, in Sofia we don't have very often such sunsets because the city is surrounded by mountains and they're just not like on the sea coast or like in the valleys. And yeah, the sunset is so beautiful that I forgot what I was speaking about. Yeah, about our last king. So he was a very bad ally. And also he didn't send the Jewish population anywhere. They stayed in Bulgaria. So one day he came from Berlin, he had a meeting there, and he just didn't feel well, and in a few days he was gone. And nobody knows what happened with him. The doctors which came, they said he was not poisoned. However, the main theory is that he was poisoned. He just had so many enemies which he made. He was with the Axis, and also he was not a perfect ally. So nobody knows who poisoned him. But these doctors, they said this is not poisoning. That's something else. So they said keep the heart of the monarch in a, how to say it, in a jar, like a big jar full of spiritus maybe. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Beverly. And maybe some, like after many years, when medicine becomes better, we will know if he was poisoned or not. And believe me or not, but his heart, it is still in this building. This is the Bulgarian National Bank. Thank you very much, Alan. The Bulgarian National Bank. So yeah, the time is over, by the way. So okay, we will stay one more minute here at this place. Thank you, Beverly. It was, for me, it was great pleasure, and I'm very happy that I had the chance to become a guide on Heygo. Yeah, the heart is in a bank. I don't know why, but it's still there. It's a true story. Oh, hello, Simana. I'm very happy that you are also here on the tour. So we are in the last minutes of our tour, and about the next tour, it will start exactly from this place. So we will just continue our walk around Sofia, and I will show you how the place where I am right now, Christmas Taos. Thank you. Sorry, what is Christmas Taos? Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you, Freddie and Laura and Lynn. So Christmas Taos. I will. Yeah, the market. Yeah, the market is here right behind me, but they closed it, I think, on the 19th of December, and I was very unhappy because it was right after my birthday, and we went there and it was closed already. So yeah, the second tour will start from this place. By the way, this is the free Sofia tour, I guess. A very interesting tour which we have around Sofia. Thank you, Cheryl. And I will tell you how this place looked like in the past, because now we have this cross which shows what's the time, the pressure, that it's 8 degrees Celsius. But in the past, here we had something different. We had the mausoleum of our communist chieftain, of our first communist leader, and his mummy was inside. So, yeah, last seconds, we have run out of time. Last seconds. Thank you very much for joining the tour, and you're welcome to Sofia at any time. It's a nice place. There is a lot to see, and it's underestimated. It's like one of the off-beaten places in Europe, in my opinion. Thank you, Sarah, Anna, Freddy, Seitam. And yeah, very soon I will announce the new date of the second tour. And this tour, by the way, which Beverly shared, I think this is Simana's tour. Simana, she is also here. She is the first Bulgarian guide on Heygo. And I've watched her cooking classes. I'm learning how to cook with Simana, by the way. I'm awful at cooking. So you're also welcome to any of the tours which we have in Bulgaria. And now it's time to say goodbye, which in Bulgarian, no, don't worry. I'm always happy when somebody shares things about Bulgaria. Yes, Imana is also very happy, of course. So in Bulgarian, for goodbye, we say do vijdane, which is like a tongue twister sometimes, even for us the locals. So if you say ciao, it's even more common. So whatever you prefer, either ciao or doviždane. See you next time and have a nice day or have a nice evening, depending on where you are. Bye bye, see you soon. Bye. Finish tour. Yeah, ciao.